All right, man. I'll tell you what, it is Thursday. It is June 11th. Man, I hope that you are having a rocking and rolling great day. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I got the sound turned off here. Here we go. And wow, I'm a couple minutes late today, so I do apologize. If you're starting to get into the habit of seeing this at 9:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday, which is, what I want, right? I want to be consistent. I want people to start looking forward to seeing this happen. But I was on the phone with a really intriguing gentleman, young guy, 23 years old. And, he's part of the John Maxwell organization. He's part of Jake Valentine's speaker, author, and coach group. And, using that LinkedIn strategy I was talking about, we set ourselves up a phone call and we had a nice little discussion. I let him know, how long I've been doing the John Maxwell as long as I've been in the John Maxwell team, John Maxwell organization. He just got in last year, and he's using his John Maxwell stuff in a different way. And so it's always intriguing to me to get with people and try to figure out, what are you trying to do to find success? What are you doing to add value to people? What's your pathway, to use this type of content? And, he is going into performance art, right? He's acting, TV, radio, music, he was telling me all kinds of things. And Samuel seemed like a really, really nice young man. So I was super pleased. And when I say a nice young man, I mean, he's somebody that has drive, that has goals, that has a pathway. And that pathway might not seem so clear cut to an old fart like me. But, he was passionate. He was on fire for it. And where someone has their passion and fire is where someone may find their success, right? So I was super stoked to talk to him. I thought it was fantastic. Now, yesterday I told you about a guy that I coach in Belgium, right? And I told you, he wasn't in such a great space. Over the last 2 months, his space improved quite a bit. And he was gracious enough to say that, he felt that it was part of it was due to the coaching. And, a little overwhelming, right? Well, now another one of my European, students, if you want to call her that, she sent me a great email last night. And when it's not the only reason that I do this, it's obviously, I'm pursuing a pathway to my own success, right? But there are times, and I'm just going to throw this out there. I probably said it yesterday, but I want to make sure I say it again. There are times where I make content or I gather content and I share it with people and I go, oh, is that the best it could be? It could be better, could be better. Maybe I could have done this. Maybe I could have done that. Maybe my message isn't good enough, right? And you start to feel or think in a way that is less positive of yourself. And then right when that starts to happen, right when I start to think, nobody cares about this stuff, I get the input from Belgium and I get the input from another country in Europe. I'm trying to respect people's privacy. Another country in Europe where someone says, hey, this and this were happening. I wasn't aware what that was, but now that I've taken your training, I can see that that was somebody coming from this direction. And when I react this way, I'm reacting that way because of this. And now as this organization is going to move in this direction, I want to project this and add value. And she's funny. She's like, you would call it adding value. And I'm like, okay, yes, I would. But, she's getting it. And so many times, when I look at the material that's in the Mañana No Mas Academy and the way that I've laid it out for you to find success, there's times where I look at the content and I go, well, I didn't reinvent the wheel. I mean, there's not, you look at it, well, there's not a lot of new stuff here, but it's not about new stuff. It's 2020. How much new stuff could there possibly be, right? But it's about laying things out in a way and then communicating in a way. And that's why I do the live support calls and all that stuff, right? If I just gave you the content and I said, here, read this book, well, that wouldn't be a service, right? Or if I said, hey, I've got a website for that and I've got some pre-made videos, a little better, but it's not a service. When people join the Mañana No Mas Academy, they also get access to me on these bi-weekly support calls where we jump in and we discuss things that are part of the menu that the people are in. And through those discussions and peer discussions, people find, their truth. They find their pathway. They find, through bringing out the examples, through the interaction with others, is how the real learning really sets in, right? How the retention comes in. For instance, when I was talking to Samuel this morning, the one with the performance arts and all that, he was talking about how he was using some of the John Maxwell material in that light. And that's just, it's another dopamine hit for me. It's another switch that goes off, and I go, that's interesting, right? That's interesting. You could use that as a communication tool. And so, there's always stuff that you can learn from talking to folks. And that's, I was thinking about it. Since I've changed my LinkedIn strategies, I've probably had 200 meetings in the last 2 months. And those meetings don't necessarily turn into dollars, right? It's not a cash cow thing, right? I don't say, hey, that's great, I had another phone call, that's $20. I had another phone call, that's $20. That's not how that's working. But what's happening is I am meeting some of the coolest, most outgoing, and I wouldn't even say educated, but smart, right? I've met really cool, outgoing, smart people that are open to communication. And when you suddenly infuse your life with 200 people like that, it's the amount of energy and the amount of, hey man, this can happen, this can really work, this is going to be a thing, I'm going to do this, right? When you can amass a network like that for yourself, all of a sudden the world's your oyster and you can accomplish anything. So it has been a really, really good couple of days. Having my eyes open in the light like this, right? That's cool. Like I said, I know it still looks a little lazy, but it's going to come with time, right? Don't forget, Tuesday, 3:00. We're going to be covering the second level of the 5 levels of leadership with John C. Maxwell, his book, not John himself, but his book. And so I'll be going over that book with you guys, level 2 of leadership. Again, I do that Tuesdays at 3:00. I'm thinking, and again, it's just a thought. I want to confirm it and then add it to the website. I want to redo that webinar on learning and membership sites. And I'm thinking Monday's the day. I think I might want to do that on Monday. So I'll post the specific time, add it to the website, and then post that to, kind of a newsletter launch that'll go out as an announcement to people on our email list. So that takes me back to, if you are not currently on the email list and you're missing some of these announcements, you want to jump in there. All right. So if you go to the Mañana No Mas website page, and you click on Academy, when that opens up, there's a home page, kind of describes the Academy and what we do there. In the middle of that page is a form. Just fill that out, add you to the newsletter list, and you're good to go. Podshow Exchange. Podshowexchange.com is another project I just launched last week. There's like no members in it. I want to build that community. I want to make it so that people with podcasts can find guests that want to be in that. And so I want to grow that and make that a thing. So I've got that started and launched so people can get into that. And boom, boom, boom. Oh, WP Forms. We're running a WP Forms Pro license sweepstakes. I don't know if you even call it a sweepstakes. It's a raffle press. So what that means is you fill out the form and you get added to the drawing, right? It's an electronic drawing. It's a smart drawing. It uses, who signs up for it. Not many people have signed up for it. So, you got a fantastic chance of winning. But WP Forms is an awesome tool if you build your own websites. If you're in the WordPress environment and you want to collect data from people, right? Name, email address, phone number, use it for your contact form, something like that. But what's cool about it, when you use WP Forms Pro, you can export all that information as a CSV file, right? And so you can constantly keep that information updated in a spreadsheet in your computer, right? Who's contacted you, what forms they've sent. People can send files through the program, all kinds of cool stuff. And so I'm a big WP Forms user in all of my web projects. and they agreed to sponsor Mañana No Mas and allow us to give out 3 different licenses this year. And who knows? I say this year, maybe there'll be more to come. But so far, they've given me 3 licenses to give away. And so I thought I would do this raffle press first. And to do that, oh my goodness, just jump on any of my social media feeds and you'll see the logo for WP Forms. And you click into that, and it opens up the sweepstakes for that. And then we've got in the Mañana No Mas page, Mañana No Mas, one of the last posts that I put up was about this winning the WP Forms Pro. So, if you're not currently, if you're using WP Forms, but you're not on WP Forms Pro, I strongly encourage you, enter, get the license for the year, try it out. And, once you take your form gathering techniques up a notch, I mean, it's really pretty cool. So, give that a shot. And then I think that's going to wrap it up for this morning. I love you guys. I like reaching out to you like this. And, I'm glad that this has become a habit. I am almost finished with Grant Cardone's book, The 10X Rule. And the 10X Rule I like it, right? It's about being a go-getter and not giving up and doing the things other people won't do. And, this little exercise here is part of that, right? Jumping on every day, making sure that there's something to share with you guys and kind of sharing the journey with you of how Mañana No Mas is growing. I know that some people see a lot of content that I put out and they're going, how does he get all this content? Well, over time, it just grows and then you just keep doing this stuff. And, when you do the work and you have faith that, I'm going to plant these seeds and there will be a harvest, it gets a lot easier to do the work. And of course, I'm confident that there's a harvest right down the road, whether that is in public speaking, consulting, or building out other people's web presences. I know that there is a future in the direction that I'm going. In fact, I'm meeting today in just a couple of hours. I'm meeting with a potential deal where we're going to build a web project that allows people to basically build custom travel plans and then market those custom travel plans out to their own groups. And so I've got a web process to do that using a couple of different tools I'm familiar with. And this will be really interesting. If this goes the way that I think it's going to go, this will be really interesting. So, all right, I'm going to get going. You guys have a great day. I plan on having a pretty good message for you guys tomorrow with some updates on dates and times and when events will be happening. And don't forget, you can always go to the Mañana No Mas Facebook page. Events are listed there. And, anything that I'm really doing is on mañananomas.com. Like Gary Vee says, sometimes don't listen to what I say, watch what I do, right? So that's a big thing, I suppose. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. I hope that you're having a blessed day. Be productive. And man, don't be afraid to reach out. Hit my contact links. Let me know what you're doing. I seem like I'm full of piss and vinegar today, and that's because 2 people from Europe were able to reach out to me and reaffirm the content, reaffirm the direction and how things are working. And sometimes people like me can use a little reaffirmation, right? Get you that piss and vinegar, get you going. Right. Have yourself a good one. Love you guys. Bye bye.